So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I am recording this, not streaming this, and I'm doing this as a one-off. This is an idea I had, which I think it's a terrible, terrible idea. But I thought, what better way to beat all the miracles and Veil of Summer decks than to post board, take away every single piece of their interaction before trying to kill them. So, to that effect, we are playing 4 copies of Extirpate, 3 copies of Snapcaster Mage, and a couple of Abrupt Decays, so that post-board we can turn into kind of a Snapcaster control deck, while also having a Storm combo built in. I don't recommend this. This is going to be probably the worst sideboard I will ever register for any event ever. But I thought it would be fun to give a spin and just try as a one-off here. So for today, we're going to get cracking with this. So our sideboard plan is going to be pretty greedy. We're going to have to board out part of our combo in almost every blue-based matchup. And just hope that we can grind hard enough over time to get there. To make some space, I'm playing Veil's main board. I know this is probably close to standard, or at least a lot of people are doing it by now. It's not something I'm necessarily a fan of. Veils, they don't give information like Duresses, but we want to be playing them. Alright, I'm not going to talk too much more. I'm going to get cracking on this. And hopefully we're going to have some fun. For the record, all our non-blue matchups are going to be considerably worse because of how much space we've dedicated to our Snapcaster control sideboard plan. So we don't really have a great deal of removal. We're currently just hoping that 2 Echoing Truth, 2 Abrupt Decays, and things like, Massacre and Fatal Push. Massacre for our white matchups, Fatal Push for just tagging random creatures are going to be enough to get there. And that the Thought Seizers will pick up the slack the rest of the time. So let's hope we can get a game sooner rather than later and find out how this plays. Another quick thing of note here is you'll see my sideboard is way more blue and black than it is typical. You'll notice things like Empty the Warrens is now in the main to help once again facilitate space in our sideboard. We've gone down to 1 Past in Flames. So it'll give us, I guess, like the Empty will give us some extra game in certain matchups and is likely to lose us games in others. Alright, let's get going with this. This is a keep. So the reason this is a keep is I think we can try to combo next turn via Ad Nauseam. If we hit any piece of fast mana off our draw next turn, then we can basically go with mana open. But for now, we get to Duress. We also have an Empty the Warrens if we think that's going to work. So Empty the Warrens won't be great here because basically we're not doing it with enough mana open. Oh, okay, cool, perfect. LED is the perfect draw here. So let me have a think about how much mana we're going to have. I guess we play a land drop. So just quickly as to why empty wasn't going to be enough here. Stoneforge Mystic for Batterskull makes anything less than, I think, 14 goblins at this point insufficient to win the game. So it's not quite enough. Do we have enough mana to Past in Flames here? Do we have enough Storm? So what do we got? We got 9, 10 mana. We go to 8 mana. We go to 4 mana. We go to 6 mana. We go for Tendrils. How do we do for Storm? So that Storm count 3, 4, Past in Flames is 5, Dark Ritual is 6, Infernal Tutor is 7, Tendrils is 8, so we're short on Storm. So the flip side of this here, we're going to grab our Ad Nauseam, and I think we're going to leave 1 black floating. Because we want to be able to cantrip. Okay, LED's a really good pickup here. As is Petal. As might be Tendrils. So let me just quickly move this round, and we're going to pop this out. So Storm count is 5, Tendrils is 6, Petal is 7, Cabal Ritual is 8, Lion's Eye Diamond is 9, Preordain is 10. We don't need to reveal any more of our deck from here. We have 7 cards in the yard. So we have Threshold, Tutor for the Rubbins. LED is Storm count 9, and this will be a Lethal Tendrils on the stack. Okay, so once again, our sideboard plan is a little worse than normal. We're relying heavily on on a smaller amount of removal than we'd normally like. What that does mean, so we'll cut 2 Veils, we'll cut 2 Duresses. We'll cut Petition, and we'll cut 1 Preordain. And I guess this gives us a nice clean... Let's just preserve our entire combo, most of our cantrips. Hopefully that'll be enough. We might need to mulligan slightly more aggressively than I normally would. I guess it'll depend on what we draw. I think we're going to keep this. Oh wow. Opponent's gone to 5. 4. So these days, Death and Taxes players have a bunch of things going on. So they'll be trying to jam something like a Deafening Silence, and then following it up with a Thalia. Either Vial, okay. Let's see what we can brainstorm into. Nothing, but that Thoughtseize looks pretty nice from here. We're still going to play around Wasteland. And we're kind of really hoping here that our opponent names LED off a Pithing Needle. The correct name is probably Misty Rainforest. Oh yeah, okay. So we're not actually going to play around pretty much anything here. And we can Thoughtseize again. Okay, let's just hope that our opponent doesn't have anything here. We're actually just going to go for goblins. So the thing that would blow us out right now would be a Ethersworn Canonist. Oh, okay. Opponents just worked out LED is a mana ability. And this should be enough goblins that... Yep, okay, cool. Well, we got one match. That's nice. So it'd be nice to get a 2-3 at a minimum. So one more win and we'll be pretty happy. And once again, I think we're going to keep this, and we're going to lead on a Thoughtseize. I think. So we'd kind of like a cantrip in this hand, but we'll lead off Thoughtseize from a swamp, I guess. I mean, we have a second land, but we kind of also just don't want to be... I guess we'll take the Brainstorm. We'll take the Brainstorm. So we're going to try to rip an LED here, and if we don't, we'll hope to draw a Veil. Hopefully opponent doesn't have the Veil. Guess we'll take the Thoughtseize. It's a nice pickup from them. Alright, they're going to try and kill us. Six mana. Yeah, that should do it with Past in Flames, shouldn't it? Alright. Not much to do. What we will be bringing in... 2 Flusterstorms. And I guess 2 Extirpates. Cut, empty the Warrens, Swamp, Preordain, Cabal, Ritual, I think. And this should give us... Alright, so we're going to try to extirpate maybe like a discard spell. We'll keep this, and we can Thoughtseize on turn 1. And play out a Lotus Petal. So we can hold up Fluster. The question becomes, do we... Fluster a discard spell in response? I don't think we do. Okay, so the reason to take the Brainstorm here is currently they're actually restricted on mana. So what they can't do at the moment is cast Veil and a black spell, which lets us hold up Flusterstorm. We kind of want... both of these. And I think next turn I want to extirpate Infernal Tutor. What we will do is if he does try to discard us, we might actually try to Flusterstorm at some point. Okay, so Petal. So Infernal Tutor. Hey, this is good. So when he cracks his fetch, So we're still a little ways off doing anything fun, aren't we? So, depending on what opponent has in hand, this could be an absolute fucking nightmare. So he's got Veil, Cabal Ritual, Cabal Ritual. Do we want to fluster the Thoughtseize? No, because it'll turn on Veil. And let's let him take what he wants. So Veil here is just a cantrip. So do we tutor here? I guess we tutor and we grab Dark Ritual. But I don't think we do anything else just yet. I guess we duress to remove the Veil. And we're going to leave our opponent with basically nothing to do. So we don't mind him cycling the Veil. He's got the same number of cards in hand, and we're in a better position to go off next turn, basically. This could go wrong if he does try to go off. But he's in a slightly awkward position. We'll just use extirpate for a free look here. Cool, and he's conceded. So that was fun for everybody involved. Okay, unfortunately this is a mull. It's like one card off winning, or probably winning, but also that card is a mana source. We need to mulligan. And we can keep this bottom Cabal Ritual, I think. So there's arguments to bottom a land, there's arguments to bottom Cabal Ritual. I think we have enough mana in our deck that we can afford to bottom the Ritual. And just hope to draw appropriately. See what opponent does here. I think we're fine to Just preordain. I kind of like the LED. So we've got a Thoughtseize on top. We have a Brainstorm. If opponent taps out, so I don't think we want the Past in Flames here, as it doesn't play really nice. We've played a land this turn. We played a Polluted Delta. Maybe we do keep the Past in Flames. For redundancy. Now, I don't know which land we're going to fetch for the Veil. I kind of hope our opponent has a Surgical or something here. Bayou or Trop? Hey, good call. So opponent probably has a Veil. No, they have a Fluster. So this is probably a touch aggressive. What do we do here? 1, 2, 3. Opponent has 6 mana. We're in a lot of trouble. I think any mana source here, probably just about any cantrip, will get us there. Alright, we can scoop. It was too aggressive with the Veil. Alright, so unfortunately we got blown out there by our opponent having multiple pieces of business. So I guess we kind of maybe wanted to hold on to the land a little bit earlier so we could hit our land drop and just not worry about the Past in Flames. I'm not 100% sure. I guess we had how many hits? So we had 4 lands out of our deck, so we had 14 hits to find like a mana source for the Flusterstorm we had in hand. Which I guess isn't quite enough, right? Alright, hopefully we're not going to wait too much longer. It's a bit slow in the legacy leagues at the moment, which I guess is not surprising. There's still only 330 odd players. Hey, cool. We're doing well on the dice rolls today, which makes a nice change. We're going to keep this, and I think we're going to fire off Island into Ponder. I really should get round to replacing my islands with snow-covered ones, but that can wait. So what are we going to do? I guess Island into Ponder. It's a lot of brainstorms. So we've got to hope our opponent isn't on something like Nick Fit and just leads on Cabal Therapy name Brainstorm. So Tundra could mean just about anything. But I think it does mean that we're fetching a non-basic next. So our hand's still a touch awkward, as we have to... look, we got good redundancy here. Alright, take Force of Will. It looks like our opponent is playing some kind of Blade deck, running Staggering Insight, which, okay, Enchanted Creature has +1/+1 and Lifelink, and... Oh, okay, so this is that weird, like, Hexproof Draw a Million Cards deck. Fire off a Ponder. So they still need to get a threat on the board. We can hit like a Dark Ritual or two. That's pretty much perfect. We're going to stack like that. We kind of want to be able to draw the Preordain next turn if this Thoughtseize sees too much interaction, which it doesn't. So it's those 5 there. This gives us Threshold. We probably shouldn't fetch the Bayou, but we're also in a position where we're not actually too stressed. Our opponent will know exactly what we're on in about 3 seconds. We're probably going to do the bad mana's Thoughtseize here. So we're going to go up to 8 mana, which is going to be stacks. Because we only need 6 at the end. Grab a Tendrils. They're just really hoping we misclick here.
Alright, so this is where we get to turn into a Snapcaster control deck. So we want 2 Snapcasters, 3 Snapcasters, 4 extirpates, probably 2 abrupt decays for something like Sword of Fire and Ice. With the sword, and given what they're doing, empty's probably not great. We'll cut Dark Petition, we'll cut an Infernal Tutor and a Lion's Eye Diamond, 2 Preordains, 2 Cabal Rituals, how do we feel about cutting Ad Nauseam or cutting a land? Opponent didn't appear to have a wasteland, so we're going to hedge on that. Ideally, we don't want to be bringing in the decays. Having said that, given we don't entirely know what they're playing, we probably want them just for things like, you know, an Unexpected Canonist, or Deafening Silence as well. So once again, our goal here is to extirpate everything. Snapcaster Mage plays very nicely with extirpate under Deafening Silence, in case people didn't know. And eventually we can kind of use that to just develop our plan of win with Snapcaster beats. So there's an argument to lead on the Polluted Delta in case they're the kind of nutter that Surgical's fetch lands. We don't want any of these cards. Alright, Snapcaster Mage can be fun. Alright, we don't care about Meddling Mage. Let's fire off this Brainstorm. I think we have too many lands. So, next turn we're going to do something a little bit weird, and we're actually just going to snap Ponder, I think. So we now have the combo in hand. We just need to remove the Meddling Mage and find an Abrupt Decay and a discard spell, I think. Don't care about Meddling Mage. I guess we get probably a Bayou here. Opponent is probably going, what the fuck, right about now. So I think right here we can, I'm going to try to be a little bit cheeky. And Ad Nauseam. So that's actually completely okay. Opponent's now basically out of cards. So I guess this is going to get like a Deafening Silence. Sure. Yeah, we're not ready to do anything just yet. So we don't want Infernal Tutor, which means we probably don't want Lion's Eye Diamond. So do we take Force of Will or Force of Negation? I'm not going to fret about Null Rod. And so opponent has Flooded Strand. Maybe that was meant to... No. So we're going to Ad Nauseam... and try to draw like an Abrupt Decay. Yeah, we're dead. Okay. That's fine. But it does mean maybe we want a Massacre. And an Empty the Warrants. But what do we cut? He's got Hate Bears. I guess we cut a Duress. Alright, this is pretty mediocre, but we can have some fun with it. So Null Rod would really suck for us here. We're not too stressed about Meddling Mage. Alright, Meddling Mage is fine. Sure. Okay, so he doesn't have a Null Rod. Alright, Underground Sea, Thought Seas. So we're whiffing pretty hard on our land drops, unfortunately, this game. We kind of need to really draw a cantrip. Staggering Insight, sure. You can do whatever. So I guess let's extirpate. Oh, fuck. Okay. Do we have a free run here? We do. So I guess we're making our money back. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8. So a terrible board plan is working. Tendril of Agony, we will extirpate targeting Flooded Strand for bad manners. And then we're just going to Tendrils him. Hey, so we have half our money back. That's nice. It's good to know other people are playing jank as well. Alright, let's get another match fired up. Two matches to go. It would be nice to win one more. Pretty hard to guarantee, but let's give it a go. Yeah, we'll keep this. So I think what we want to do is try to go for an empty. Probably turn 2. Goblins, okay. So how many goblins can we make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 goblins. Alright, we're going to hold for now. So the problem with 10 goblins is it's not quite enough for us to guarantee a win here. It would have been on maybe turn 1. So what are they grabbing? So I think like an LED off the top here probably wins us the game. Or if we... So I suppose it doesn't need to be off the top. We can actually preordain into it. Sling gang, sure. So I think we kind of need to grab a basic island here, and we're going to need to ponder. So we're probably going to get ported next turn. So Sling Gang is going to come into play. He's going to bash for however many this is. So we're actually going to need some extra storm. Because as it stands right now, he can gain, I think, like, what's that, 6 life? Seven life. So if he casts the Sling Gang, yeah, okay, good. So he's going to cast the Sling Gang, I think. Which I think makes the most sense here, but also might actually kill him. Just because it's going to give us 2 looks for an LED. Oh, cool, and we find it. So we'll lead on a ponder. We kind of want, like, exactly this. So we can gain 7 life here. I think I might use... So basically we just have everything. So I guess we want red and we want blue. And we basically have infinite mana here. Which is important because we actually need a fair chunk of storm. So we'll flashback the tutor now, just so we're going to cast a couple of cantrips shortly. Tendrils. I don't know exactly how much storm we need. So I'm just going to try and... go for like 40, maybe? We'll draw the petal. So can we go like goblins into... Let's be really bad manners here. So I think this is 40 goblins on the board. Can we always yield to... No, okay. Opponent's got a fair bit of patience here. I wonder if he's hoping that we fucked it up. Or if he just has some random way of killing us. Target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Yep, okay, cool. So once again, our board plan for this is not good. We have 5 cards. And we want to cut Veils. Maybe we keep Veils. We'll cut Duresses. Cut 2 Preordains. And we're going to cut maybe like a Cabal Ritual, which is going to give us like a fairly clean combo. We get to keep all our combo pieces. It might be that Dark Petition is not good here, but I think we have enough other bits we can take out. Now, the reason to keep Veils is sometimes goblins will have like Thought Seizers or I'm trying to remember the name of the god-awful goblin that takes all your win cons. This is not a keep. This is much better. We're going to bottom probably the Thought Seizers were on the draw. Although maybe... No, we'll bottom the Thoughtseize. Okay, and there's a lackey. So we're going to fire off the Brainstorm immediately. Does this get us there? No, it doesn't. But okay, we're going to give ourselves the option to redraw that ponder in case things don't go our way. Oh, we have to redraw the ponder, don't we? So never mind. What this does do is this gives us some plans for next turn. So we get to ponder, pedal, make probably a shit ton of goblins. I wonder if maybe we should have kept the Thoughtseize over the Brainstorm. Yeah, okay, so Earwig Squad doesn't do anything here. So opponent could have Mindbreak Trap. And we're actually going to take the Ritual over the LED here, because it lets us get started a bit easier. And now we'll take the LED. And now we've got to work out, okay, so it looks like they've F6'd. And now we're not even going to bother, like we died a Mindbreak Trap, and I don't think much else here. I suppose it's also possible they have Veil of Summer or like Swords to Plowshares, so why don't we go one more. Okay, no, never mind. Alright, so we got our money back. Pretty good for a Snapcaster control pile. Unfortunately, we haven't had many fun matches with it, so we might have to try another league later. Alright, time to get greedy. Let's see if we can hit the 4-1 mark. We probably can't, but why not give it a crack? Hopefully we get to play against like a grindy blue deck. I'd really love to play against Miracles or something in that vein, but we'll have to see what we hit. Even Sneak might be interesting with the 4x extirpate. Okay, let's knock this out. See if we can win another die roll as well while we're at it. No, damn. Okay, we're going to keep this hand. We have... I think we're going to go Trop into Ponder. We have a second land. So we should be able to beat a Wasteland. The exception will be if we see like a basic plains or something similar. In which case we might pedal Brainstorm. Or a Savannah. It'd be really, really, really nice to play against a blue deck. When you want to play against a goddamn blue deck, you can't find any. Okay. Let's go pedal Brainstorm. So we probably don't want the Veil, but we also have a stack of lands. So maybe we go... Island Ponder. So if we get another turn, I think we win. The reason we wouldn't get another turn is Thalia, Gaddock Teague, Thoughtseize might be annoying. I wouldn't typically pick Thoughtseize off a Savannah, but it's a possibility. It might be... Maverick decks are sometimes played in junk colours. Okay, we don't give a fuck about Knight. So how many lands can we get in the graveyard? Or how many cards? So pedal into... Veil gets us 7. And this is lethal. Like the only things that I can think of that might stop me from winning from here is like Elvish Spirit Guide. And a Veil of Summer. So we're getting a bit of lag. I probably need to reboot the client, which I'll do, I guess, at the end of this match. So sorry for anybody watching. And Tendrils of Agony. For lethal in a bit. So this looks like Maverick. We're going to board in pretty much the same way that we do for D&T. So no Duresses, no Veil of Summers. Go down 2 Preordains, 1 Preordain, 1 Dark Petition to make Ad Nauseam a little nicer on the life total. So this gives us a fair bit of gas against, like, push is nice against Gaddock Teague in that it's just like a cheap, easy answer. It's probably the best answer to Teague that I know of, because you don't have to bounce it, you don't have to... It just takes care of Teague, unlike Massacre, which is really clunky when your opponent just zeniths. Once again, we might need to consider mulliganing aggressively. If we start with a Thoughtseize in our hand, I think we're just going to... And the ability to cast it, we're going to snap keep. Be careful what you wish for. this hand is not good. This hand is not going anywhere for a long time. So if one of these cards was an LED or a tutor, I'd keep. But at the moment we're just going to be making land drops for a few turns, and we have no cantrips. Okay, if we can get through turn 1. Should we have kept extra gas? Maybe not. Okay, so we're not going to fret Reclaimer. The question now becomes, do we try to dodge Surgical? Because currently we can cast... If we go like Infernal Tutor, Dark Ritual... 2, 3, 4, 5. Empty is 6. How much mana do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6. So we can empty for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That strikes me as the safest play. Infernal Tutor. And hopefully our opponent isn't playing Tabernacle. Because otherwise this is just straight up a 2-turn clock. With not many outs. I suppose they could have like make a 20-20. So this punches through 12 and I think 10 next turn. And we need to punch through 7. Okay, so we just went 4-1 with an absolute pile, which is nice. It's exciting when that happens. I will probably try another league where we can play against more fair blue decks. But for now, we'll say goodbye.